Okay guys, welcome to the STPL. My name is Kix. Joining me is buffering camera rapid, but he is actually there. He
Wait,
just
what?
looks like a spinning
No,
circle
it
at the
works
moment.
for me.
Yeah, it doesn't on my
Oh.
screen.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay.
It's all good.
I turned it off and turned it back on. It's the way to fix everything.
Yeah, you've learned from me, the IT expert. You just turn everything off and on
There you
again
go.
and just fix it
Thanks
all.
for your help, Kix.
Yeah, it's
Couldn't
all
do
good.
it without you.
So, well, we got another couple of cool matches. If you follow STPL TV on Twitter, which everyone should be doing, if you're not sure why you're not, but it's a good idea. But either way, I did announce some matchups there. We're going to be starting off with White Clan versus iRk. So just to get us started quickly today, let's have a look at both of our team intros. Legend Scan doing a really good job here against Best, but not managing for that nice Zealot drop. Oh,
Yeah.
Zealot Mind Drag even.
As if he needed any extra help, right?
Oh man, there was so many XPs and GG! The swarm doesn't really matter too much when you don't have any units to go in it, and it's going to be nothing but Lings and Ultras to try and hold on here, but that's not going to be enough. GG!
A tie before the Marine side finishes, and so that he
Yeah.
can do it.
GG!
Wow. That's it's like Tigers. That's Storm's do best. Kill Hydras. Oh my God! He wishes he had maybe one more.
Not have gone any better. I think this could be the end of it. It is GG! How quickly turrets starting to heal. This is kind of insane.
Yeah, 9+1 units, man. That is not not anything to watch out for. But this already is the big story. That was actually a really good split. But the second already is actually dealing a lot more damage. So that's gonna do it. GG. Miso taps out.
It's showtime.
Coming in here, there's going to be a lot of Goliaths coming in back here. He should be building Goliaths off of all of his factories. I mean, it's going to take an absolute age for these carriers to kill these tanks. And in the meantime, this tank in the front with 3 kills, 5 kills, GG! Now it looks like the units have been cleared in the top left. The base did go down. This base has gone down in the top right though. Medino mining out is going to have to tap out there. GG! He has the engagement he needs. Let's have a look as we go into here. The tanks getting dropped on at the back. A great engagement by the Walt. The armory, the army of Vulture evaporating, and GG. This is still going to try and hold on. He's got another storm ready, but I mean realistically, what is this storm going to do? It kills a lot of Hydralisks at least, but GG. Starfall to maybe get a drop done. But Oyaji is going in. This is going to be the moment that Scan either holds or Oyaji wins this game. GG!
It's showtime.
Okay guys, so there you have it. We're going to have White Clan versus iRk. Now, hopefully all my audio is fine, and we're going to get started here. Now, skipping the history this week, because we've seen it all many times before. Not really much has changed in the previous week, but basically iRk did win their first 2 games in round 4. I keep forgetting what round we're in. We've been going so long, I keep going to say like various numbers. But White Clan have only won one of their games so far. They did play a series versus Ash, which is still kind of like halfway through. I'm still waiting to get the final replay for that, and then I'll sort of catch up with that at the end. But both these teams have done really well so far.
Yeah, this is actually quietly one of the best games of the round. iRk were like huge contenders. Was it last round or 2 rounds ago?
Round 1.
I think it was 2 rounds.
It was
yeah,
in the first
okay,
round.
3 rounds ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, round 1, iRk were killing it, and they actually did such a good job all the way through the playoffs. So, yeah, definitely quietly one of the best teams in STPL. And White Clan, I feel like I mean, White Clan is like the build tester. It's like, can I do this build? Can I play this player? Like, well, are you good enough to beat anyone on White Clan? But it does depend wildly on who they play each week.
Yeah.
They have a gigantic roster, so I never know which White Clan is going to show up. But suffice it to say, if you just look at their total wins, anything around 20 is just really good, and both of these teams are there. So I think, you know, White Clan is kind of the team to beat a lot of times, but with iRk it should actually be pretty even.
Yeah, now let's just
Especially
have...
if Age shows up in chat.
Yeah, let's quickly go through the map. Set 1 is going to be on Fortress SE. Set 2 on Neo Chain Reaction. So that image is not Neo Chain Reaction. Kicks in the past who made this video. La Mancha in Set 3. Set 4 is going to be on Neo Medusa. And Set 5, if we make it there, the ace match will be on Holy World SE. And just to introduce who is going to be playing on which of these maps, let's actually just throw it over and introduce today's rosters. Let's actually remove that key bar because we've not decided on that yet. But Set 1 is going to be a PvZ between Sinbi and Norgrim. Sinbi, a new player here for White Clan. We're then going to have someone who I don't know how to say his name properly, but I'm guessing it's Jorgi. A PvT between him and Marwin on Neo Chain Reaction. A PvZ between First and Kenzie on La Mancha. And then a TVP between Gyro and DeWalt on Neo Medusa.
I would say it's probably Gogi. Dolgi
yeah.
isn't really a. I mean,
I couldn't work out if it's a character or not, so I was like, huh, is this a special thing or?
no, there is definitely like a double G character, but it's not used in the word for meat, which is that. So maybe I'm just ignorant, but the best thing about this is not only that the players are very, very good. Like, holy cow, these players are so good on both sides. Like, these are just like, I don't even know. Like, just get me in these games kicks. But there's also no mirror matchups, so yay!
Yeah. If you were to mark one as your key match, what would it be?
Oh, all of them? I don't know. Maybe First versus Kenzie, because I know both of those players. I would say Sinbi versus Nogrim could be good, but I've never seen Sinbi play before.
Yeah, same as me. I'm gonna say Gogi versus Marwin on Neo Chain Reaction just because of Scan versus Anne the other day. Like, TVP on that map is sick, so...
Yeah, no, it actually looks amazing.
Yeah, if we get to that, hopefully, well, we will get to it, but if, well, unless this first game goes on for 10 days and then we actually just... die or something, I don't know. But still, should be a cool series. Good to see White Clan and iRk face off again. They've not actually met each other since round 1, where White Clan went 2-1 up against iRk. They actually played 3 times in a single round. Twice in the group stage because they had to play a tiebreaker, and once in the playoff finals where White Clan won. So it's going to be a little bit of a chance here for iRk to show off some of their new players like Marwin and Kenzie who weren't there in round 1 to just see how this is all going to go. Now let's actually just skip. Not going to skip into, I was going to skip into like the map stats, but I guess we should just go through the players super quickly. Sinbi, this is going to be really quick. He is a Protoss player for White Clan, don't know anything about him. And of course his opponent here going to be Norgrim. Now Norgrim is one of the more well-known players on iRk, at least in the foreign scene. He's been around for ages, used to be on TOT. And he's done pretty well in the STPL, the little he's actually played. He's actually 2-0 up against Protoss, so...
I'm surprised. Every time you show me these stats kicks, I'm just... Usually I have like a feeling of like how good is this player, how good is this player not. But yeah, Nogrim's super good. And I don't even think these stats like are... It's not that I don't think they're accurate, but I think that if Nogrim played more games, they would be even better. So,
yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, let's quickly introduce our first map, which is going to be Fortress SE. Okay, so here we are on Fortress SE. Now, Fortress, one of the, oh my god, how do I keep forgetting how words work? It's one of the newer maps here in round 4. We haven't really seen too much of it, but just the main features of these 4 installation gates, or the 2 installation gates in the 4 corners, they lead to these weird kind of semi-island bases. Now, in PvZ, that actually kind of benefits Protoss a little bit, because you can get a really sneaky third base, and Hydras can't really get in there, but obviously it does leave them a little bit more vulnerable to Mulisks.
Yeah, this reminds me of like a less fair version of like not chain reaction, because you got that map stuck in my head, but blockchain, where it kind of has the rings around the edge, but it's more like, okay, these are bases with semi-islands in the corner. There's a better example of this, but I can't actually remember what the map is. But yeah, Fortress I think was in KSL last season, so it's not a map that people should be too unfamiliar with.
Yeah, so let's actually get into game number 1 here between White Clan and iRk, and let's see if in game 1 we beat that 6-minute curse, or are we destined for just 6-minute games forever? Let's find out. Okay, starting us off here in the 6 o'clock position, we do have the dark blue Protoss fighting for White Clan Sinbi.
And his opponent on the other side of the map in the off-white color. I would just love to cast a ZVZ with this versus... Is that actually white, or is that the peach color?
I think it's the peach one.
I can't actually tell.
It's the peach one, I'm fairly certain.
Alright. Good job, Brood Warrior color chooser. That color is Nogrim. And I think Nogrim, just one of my favorite players to play. He was actually in the, in BSL, kind of the 1v1 version of STPL. He was in the Not Pro League last year. He was playing like Nyoken in the finals of the Chobo League. And I'm just like neither one of these players has any business not being in the Pro League, because they are both some of the best players. And so Nogrim, back in the day, this guy was the guy, very, very good player. And so I'm always excited to watch him play. So let's see what kind of style he wants to kind of bring us here. It is going to be a pool first, so should be aggressive, but not like
it's an overpool, so
yeah.
Overpools are kind of the go-to build these days. I mean, 12 hatch used to be super popular, but when Gateway expands started to become more of a popular thing, it was kind of a little bit more dangerous to do. So Overpool is kind of like the go-to build now. We're going to see a Forge from Sinbi, which obviously going to benefit him a little bit. He's not going to lose his early Zealot to a Zergling attack, and at least he scouted all of this as well. So things looking pretty good for him, but it's still sort of like the first few moments in the game.
Yeah, Overlord sees the probes, so kind of knows that it's headed basically in the right direction, and it is a Forge expand, so, nothing super to worry about. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the overpool thing. I was talking about it last time we cast, because I believe we only ever saw Zerg's overpool versus Protoss like that whole day, so
yeah.
I think we're starting to see some trends here. But in general, the game's going to play out differently when the Protoss makes the decision to go like a different order of opening, and then maybe a gateway instead of a Forge. So nothing actually there to talk about for the most part. Probe's still in the main, so that's going to be the annoying thing. And as soon as that gets pushed out, we'll kind of figure out what kind of game this is going to be. There's a drone headed out for an expo, so this is going to be some variant of 3 to 5 hatch play.
Yeah, I mean, with Nogrim, I don't think he's the kind of player to go for a super aggressive Hydra bust early on. I mean, obviously I could be wrong here, but he actually started streaming again for the first time last week, I think it was, because I hosted him, and he was like, huh, I haven't streamed in 8 months, however, got 100 viewers or something. But yeah, he's sort of come back from a sort of slight period of inactivity, and not only that, I don't ever really remember him being super aggressive in his playstyle, so we should see a macro game coming out of him here if Sinbi doesn't do anything too crazy, which doesn't look like he is at the moment.
Well, that's the other thing, is I don't know what to expect from Sinbi. Usually, in order to get on a White Clan, you play a bunch of in-houses and stuff, and you are pretty good, right? I mean, these are up and coming kind of like South Korean amateur players for the most part.
Yeah.
And so when I look at their players, I'm like, okay, well, like I expect a certain level, right? Like I expect you to not lose your probe early. I expect you to not die to a Ling flood early. I expect your build orders to kind of look like something that I've seen out of like KSL and ASL. And then if the games go long, then maybe the macro isn't the best or your army position's like not totally great, but like we're just like figuring things out. That's one
Yeah.
of the privileges of watching White Clan players play, is that kind of always gives you the opportunity to kind of turn on your brain and test, well, how good is this player and what should I expect?
Yeah, it's certainly one of the funniest things. Well, I guess it's kind of funny in a way, but with Brood War, like, it's as you mentioned, like, sometimes you'll have players that are super good in the early game, and you're like, wow, the guys are basically pro level. Then as the game goes on longer and there's more stuff to do, there's sort of dents in their armor, and that's kind of the moments that keep them from being a pro. But
Well, yeah, this is the story of like everyone that ever plays Brood War. It's
yeah,
like, all right, I got my opening build order. I can build a thing on a supply, and you do it, and then like 35 supply into your build, you're just like, what world am I in? Like, am I playing with a mouse or like a steel drum? Like, how do I maneuver this game at all? And it's nice to see pros kind of struggle with the same thing.
yeah. Now, one thing we saw here is Simbi actually ran over to see if there was a third base there. Did get stopped before he saw the actual hatchery, but he did see the creep, so he knows there's a third base over there. I think he saw the lair coming up. No, he most certainly saw the lair coming up, so Simbi's going to know exactly what to expect. He should be going into a Stargate, which he's got now, so there'll be the first Corsair there to start scouting that out, and he's going to go into a Templar Archives most likely soon after this. And as far as PvZ goes, this is quite possibly the most standard way we could ever see both players open. Norgrim's going up to 5 hatches. We should see a Hydra Den coming up soon after the Spire's finished, and everything should look pretty normal.
Yeah, no, the Overlord sacrifice is going to come down. There's actually a second Overlord, which sometimes you don't necessarily see, that's in the danger zone. In the middle of the map, right in the sort of eye of the storm. Not that map, but it is actually going to get found. So a cool little pick off there. It won't know if there's +1 for these Corsairs, which is something that you can kind of scout for with your first Sacrificial Overlord. But it will give the Scourge the ability to clone onto the Corsairs.
Ooh, the
so maybe
Scourge.
they're going to hit. Ooh, nice one. Oh no!
Yeah,
Ah!
he lost the Corsair. That's
Yeah, but
not
the-
something
the
you want to
co-
happen.
The comical thing is like watching the next two Scourge just stop comically short of the second Corsair. They're just
Yeah.
like, oh my, but they actually might get this. Okay, never mind. They're not going to get the Corsair popping out, but there's no, or the cannon is not finished yet, so
Yeah, it's about
they'll be able to wait
so-
around for a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we've got Storm coming in from this Templar Archives, at least we should have soon. Not really sure why that hasn't started yet. I guess he's saving his money a little bit to get another Nexus here in this bottom left base. Now, it's kind of funny the way he's trying to expand over here, not because it's difficult to hold, because realistically the build he's going up against is really simple to do. But he's leaving that base, which is going to be very, very close to the other main that Norgrim's taking. There's only actually a small wall between this, so when we see some drops coming in, that'll actually do a lot of damage. So there's actually a DT outside of Simbi's base, killing all of the Zerglings again.
yeah, he actually ran the first DT by the Zerglings.
Oh yeah, there we go. It's going up into the natural now.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure why. Like, there's no way you should actually be able to get through here against a good player. He actually was maybe one volley of sunken shots away from breaking through, so that was way closer than I expected. But yeah, killing all those Zerglings is definitely the bonus, because now, I mean, it's so hard to have scouting information for Zerg at this point, because +1 Corsairs are just going to kill everything.
Yeah, until you start ending up with more Hydras to sort of take map control, Simbi's just going to be able to kind of sit and do what he wants. Now, the Corsairs did find another couple of Scourge, gun them down before taking any damage, so that's a little bit of a win for Simbi, but no +1 attack coming. Oh, he's already got +1 attack, sorry. That finished without me ever noticing it starting, so things looking good.
Haha. What was I going to say? +1 attack for ground is actually still coming through. So, But does he have legs yet? I haven't seen the Zealots move. I assume he
Yeah,
does.
I've not seen the movie though. I can only assume he's got legs at this point, but it's always one of the things of there was one game we saw a couple of weeks ago where someone forgot Zealot speed.
Oh,
until
yeah.
really late into
That
the
was-
game, and it's like
That was so sad, seeing like 15-minute Zealots just moving really slowly across the map. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. A new batch of Lings is kind of run out across the map, and got to get that High Templar inside the wall. But for the most part, yeah, all is as it should be, right? The Lings have control of the ground, Corsairs have control of the air. This is one of the kind of cool things about this matchup, is that both players have really good scouting information.
this is kind of funny.
Look at all that Scourge. Oh my goodness, that's so many Scourge chasing these Corsairs off. Like, most of them actually should hit,
Yeah,
unless
a
they're
couple
really
of them.
dumb.
Oh, that's really good.
Oh my
so
goodness,
he's
wow.
hit with 4 of them, and at the same time, Simbi actually transferred his probes through the Lings, so the Lings know about the base now on the bottom left. And how is Norgrim going to react to this? He's obviously going to have to do something. Is he going to go drop, or is he going to try and go muteless behind this?
I mean, I would definitely suggest the, I don't know, because he did reduce the Corsair count.
He just stormed those Scourge for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Kix. That's not, the traditional way to deal with Scourge. It's hard to go either mutas or drop, because even though you killed off a couple of Corsairs, Simbi's actually remade Corsairs, which is not something that you necessarily expect. He's kept that number up around 5, and these are +1 unless you have like a...
Oh, 1 second rapid. Okay, hopefully that's better. I just changed the server on the thing again. Yeah, that's a lot better. I can actually understand what you're saying now. You kind of turned into robot
sorry, was that
mode.
not coming through?
Yeah, no, the last like sentence or so you just said didn't come through, so I don't know if you want to say it again.
Alright, well that's what I get for trying to cast in Klingon, so
yeah.
I'm just going to try to use English exclusively here. Here come those Corsairs. They're trying to find some bonus Overlords, but nothing at that base, which means that if there's... We were talking about Nogrim dropping, but if Sinbi drops a DT in there, then that is actually game over for that base. I mean, there is detection in the form of that Spore, but you can actually run in and snipe that really fast.
Yeah, it depends what the second creep colony is going to become. If that becomes a sunken, it becomes a little bit harder. But there is definitely a large number of possibilities here. Now, there's actually 2 DTs being dropped out right next to some patrolling Scourge. They don't notice the shuttle, so this could be a little bit dangerous. Now, the Corsair's actually coming in, eating one of the Scourge shots, but this is going to be a big drop going into this base, and Norgrim, he's added on a lot of hatcheries everywhere, but he doesn't actually have that many units.
No, Nogrim's been being a little bit of a greedy boy. He has 4 bases with insane drone saturation at all of them. You look at these number of drones, holy cow. You're like almost not supposed to be saturated as a Zerg player. Beyond that, look at these DTs screwing up his Zergling
that was a good
AI
hold.
for a second. He actually almost killed that Sunken. Really, really good hold. And we don't even have, if I'm not mistaken, do we have, we don't have Niduses yet, so holding that base with adequate defense right there is actually really hard to do. Storm's on Lings trying to protect those High Templar, and he actually does protect all of these High Templar. I'm starting to see some really good moments here from Sinbi that are giving me a lot of faith in his playstyle and his skill level.
Yeah, the trouble is Sinbi is doing, I mean, he's doing really, really well. He's kind of defending everything that he possibly could, but Norgrim is just growing exponentially. Well, not exponentially, I'm using that word wrong again, but he's growing really, really big at the moment. He's got his Nidus up now. It's going to be at that second natural. The problem that he might have is the fact he might find it a little bit harder to expand again, but he's on 4 fully saturated bases at this stage in the game, and that's not something you often see at 13 minutes.
Well, he's going to have some trouble here for a second. Oh, the DT, can it snipe the... Oh my goodness, one more hit there on that Sunken colony. He actually assassinated the Overlord, the only Overlord that was providing vision, and could have maybe gotten a little bit of extra damage done, but he doesn't actually have an observer to see the lurker that's burrowed there. So, obviously that would help,
Yeah, The kind of crazy thing for me at the moment is I'm looking at both. I'm just kind of looking at the map of where all
Yeah.
the units are. I can't figure out where all their supply is. Like, neither of them seem to have a massive army. There's a lot of Lings lurkers at the natural of Norgrim now, which kind of makes sense, but when you look at the size of Simbi's army for the supply he has, it doesn't seem to be that big, and he's relying a lot on High Templar.
Both players have a lot of workers, like a lot of workers. The weird thing for me is I'm not used to seeing a Protoss player with the same number of bases as a Zerg player. Like, Protoss should be on like 2.5 bases right now, but because that's an island in the corner, and it's really hard to kind of assault that against cannons and Corsairs, then you kind of get a base for free, and that's a huge advantage as a Protoss player in this matchup. So, I would say that when Hive comes out, maybe the story changes a little bit because you can use Hive to kind of leapfrog through a lot of the static D. But let's take a look at the storm drop coming in. Oh my god, that's so many dead drones. What do we got? We got 0 on one. Is that 8 on another? Oh, Scourge on the shuttle though. That's actually really nice.
That's really nice. And final storm doesn't go off now. The funny thing is Norgrim's actually expanding to the top right, not the top left, but going back to what you were saying about the base situation, the bases in the corner are actually half gases, so they only have 2,500, and the bases in the middle only have 1,500, so even though Simbi is on even bases with the Zerg, at least until this 5th base comes up, I would give the advantage to Norgrim here, because he's not going to need as much gas as the game goes on as Simbi is. Simbi's going to be relying a lot on Templar Reaver a little bit later on. If we get there, he's going to need a lot of Archons, and that's gas that in the bases he's got, he won't have for very long. He's going to have to take the other main if he wants to keep this game going. A little bit later, obviously.
Yeah, you are correct. It's not like these corner bases are, infinite money. But they are going to last for a little bit, and for Protoss kind of getting over that hiccup of getting enough gas to fuel your tech acceleration early on can be a big deal. And actually, I really like what Simbi has done. He's gotten kind of early Reavers. I see a lot of players that go Storm and DTs to kind of slow down their Reaver tech, but he has gone DTs, lots of DTs, and then also has a ton of High Templar with Storm and Reavers. So that corner base's gas is being really well spent into a lot of this splash damage that should be able to handle basically everything that Norgrim has.
Something funny just happened there. I don't think he has Plague ready, because a Defiler that was about to die stood next to like 12 Zealots, threw 2 swarms down. There was no other units there, so it wasn't all that important. It's just, I guess he was using his last hurrah. Imagine if there were 2 plagues, and just how much of an impact that would have actually had on the army. Norgrim got a little bit unfortunate there.
Well, Norgrim's going to have a whole lot more or misfortune, I guess, in his life here, because not only did he lose that Defiler, he has to go up against, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 12 to 15 storms here.
Wow.
Like, what do you do against that? Like, there's no Zerg unit that actually just stands straight up to Storm. You're going to just see massive amounts of Storm all over these Lings, and you're right, I don't think he has Plague at all.
Yeah, he must have forgotten it or something, because he's not throwing it down. The Ling's going down immediately to all these Storms. Now, obviously he is depleting the Storm energy. Maybe if he does get into Ultras, I've not seen an Ultra Cabin, he can make something happen, but Norgrim is kind of forced to burrow in really awkward positions. He's just eating so many Storms.
There's still 4 more Storms left here, Kix, I believe.
Maybe not anymore.
No, he still has 3 more Storms, so maybe he's kind of saving these for a rainy day. He did actually lose quite a few High Templar, so I think maybe he is out. Okay, yeah, he's got 1 more. No, he's just going to morph an Archon here.
Yeah, but there's a big counterattack going in the bottom. The Reaver's going to be worth their weight in gold, though, as so many units pushing down against these cannons. Lurkers trying to get under the swarm, taking a lot of damage from the Reavers, though.
Yeah, I was surprised. He's got a High Templar with Storm Energy right there, but maybe he's saving it, just knowing that the Reavers are going to take care of this. Double Reaver all the way across this base, but look at the Lings just continuing to flood in. These are such strong cracklings. I want to say that they have +2, 1/2 upgrades right now. And these Reavers, they can't stay alive long enough. The splash damage will actually run out, and there's not actually enough storm. All the High Templar run up, but they don't have any energy. Actually, they do. They're not storming. Never mind.
Well, there's still that High Templar behind the mineral line that's got all that storm energy, and he's not using it. I don't think he's realized it's there. And Norgrim, with a huge swell of units, takes down that base. But all of a sudden, we're going to have Simbi on the other side trying to push forward. But unfortunately for him, he's not going to find any damage there. There's too many lurkers.
Wow, I'm so surprised. I saw that Protoss army, and a lot of times High Templar are kind of broken if you give them time, right? Because it's just free. It's free real estate. It's free damage. You can just storm wherever you want all the time, and there's nothing that can really run through there. But if somehow you have just such an insane economy and such an insane larva situation, there's like 12 hatches right now, that you can just outproduce that. I'm super impressed by Nogrim's macro at this point.
Yeah, Norgrim is just, this is what happens when you let the Zerg grow so quickly, so fast. All of a sudden their economy just booms, and they just get so many units. Like, every time he kills an army, there's another one replenishing it almost immediately from all of the hatcheries. It's just insane.
I'm watching this swarm in the Protoss base. There's one crackling that's almost killing a gateway just like straight up by itself. So,
oh wow.
Thankfully, this will be able to be cleaned up pretty easily, killing off that Defiler and the Overlords and stuff. But look at Nogrim! He's everywhere! And, like, what are you going to do about this as Protoss? Because Nogrim's expanding to the safest bases on the map, the ones in the corners, farthest away.
Now, one thing to note about these bases in the corners for Zerg is they do have a downside. Zerg need those like hatcheries for production, but if you build units over there, they're going to be stuck. So either you build a Nidus to get them out, which is obviously a little bit of extra micro to kind of send them through, or you go drop. Now it looks like we are going to have a big drop coming in here from Norgrim, but it does get scouted by the Observer.
Ooh, nice.
Now there are these Corsairs still here as well. Like, you actually saved those from earlier. He's going to send up and try and intercept the drop.
Uh-oh, Kicks. Well, keep an eye on the supply here. Nogrim's at 154. Might be a little bit less here. 150. 148. Alright, he's finally actually going to unload here. But one Overlord with double Lurkers will actually make it in. There are a bunch of cannons here, so this shouldn't actually do very much.
And it looks like most of the Overlord's actually going to go down. Norgrim actually plummeting in supply there, going all the way down to 133. I mean, obviously this 133 is in a lot of Lings, a lot of Hydras. And Norgrim is actually going to be the one to try and take this natural. I would say this is very, very optimistic right now.
Yeah, Simbi leaves and he's like, oh wait, there's a hatchery there.
Yeah.
So hopefully this does get cancelled as a misrallied Overlord is taken out there. Wow, 3 Lings, killed 2 Dragoons in the back.
There's another huge drop going to the bottom left, but there's a load of cannons again, and there's actually Templar with enough for something like there's 3 storms for Templar, if I remember rightly. And there's 2 on full energy, so that's insane. I mean, this could be a big drop. A lot of Lurkers going down though, but he's going to have to dodge the storm.
Oh my goodness, there's so many storms, but somehow the Lurkers get under a storm next to the Nexus. There's more or under a swarm. Swarms and storms, just comboed up. Alright. And yeah, that is actually a perfect hole. I think Nogrim needs to kind of like rethink his tech situation here. He's gonna go into ultras, and he's already got fantastic upgrades. But yeah, this is not how you outdo a Protoss player. Nogrim's way down in supply at 120 right now, and he needs to rebuild a bunch of Overlords after those drops.
And he's trying to go for another quadruple drop here to the bottom left, but admittedly, all of the High Templar have gone down with their energy, but there's a shuttle in here now. He's going in for his own storm drop on this 4th base. Well, I guess it was a 4th base a long time ago. It's kind of a long distant memory of that being his 4th base. But here we go. Looks like we are going to have the Templar dropped out. Going to get a nice storm on the drones, but Norgrim doesn't actually have that many drones there anymore, so it's not super impactful.
Well, we still got a High Templar running up to this corner base, and there are a few drones up there just hatching 3 more. I don't know if that's going to be the disadvantage of these,
5
these drones
kills
being born at the wrong hatchery. Yeah, oh my goodness, just so insane.
Oh, a huge play going down on the army though. This is what Norgrim really does need to fight this late game Protoss composition. He's up against 3-2-2 upgrades at this point. He does have 3-3 melee. Obviously Ultra is going to come out, but when you get a significant number of Archons like Simbi has, all of a sudden the Ultras kind of just melt. I mean, you can see the amount of Lings that these Archons have been killing as well. It's just purely ridiculous. So Norgrim is still obviously in a not as much trouble, I would say, as Simbi is, in terms of the fact that Simbi's further bases are going to mine out a lot quicker. He's only really mining off 1.5 bases at the moment, so Simbi's going to have to try and take this other natural, and it looks like we could get into a split map situation here.
Yeah, another big problem is that I think now both players are, especially Cindy, has maybe too many workers. But we'll see. He's going to try to expo to this right-hand base, and I mean, that's going to kind of be where the game is kind of won or lost, I think. If he can get this expansion up, there's a safer one, you know, in the main of this, well, main. But Nalgrim is proving to still have a lot of difficulties when it comes to assaulting these bases. And now, basically, like, if he tries to attack the bottom left, is that really even worth it? There's not that much stuff there, and it would probably take a lot to get past the Corsairs. So now, where do you go? I think the answer is try to kill this new base, and if he invests and can do that, I think he might win the game off of it.
Yeah, now one thing I must have just missed is there must have been a storm drop or something in the top right. Norgrim pulled all of his drones away, but he's not sent them back to mine. So this is one less base of income for Norgrim at the moment. We see the Ultras coming in with a lot of Lings. Now can he overcome all of these storms, all of these Archons? You can just see the storms on the back Lings doing so much damage. That storm in the middle!
This is disgusting. This is something out of like a campaign mission. Swarm finally does go down. I don't even know if that's going to do that much, because Archons are just going to battle through it. Like, then we will fight in the shade. But actually, fighting in this shade is maybe a little bit ill-advised, Kicks.
Yeah, this is so many Archons. That's so many Ultras coming in, though. I think
every single one of those Archons has like double-digit kills. But yeah, no, this is actually insane. Where did Norgrim get this much resources? How is he up this far in supply? He brings in the Overlords to tank a little bit, but I mean, there's the Ultras meleeing Reavers, Kicks.
Yeah.
And that should tell you about the state of this game.
There is going to be another storm going down on the Lurkers to the right. That's going to allow him to hold the base for a little bit longer. But with, you know what, there's so many Ultras here in such a small surface area, they're glitching each other out trying to do any damage. But when we're looking at this, if you think about it, the gas is almost depleted from this base. This base was always going to be hard for Simbi to hold. The real fortress he needs to grab hold of is this other natural. If he can hold on to this, he has a shot of winning this game. But Norgrim is pouncing quickly to try and stop this from happening.
He absolutely is, but does he have, what's the Swarm versus Storm ratio here? I don't actually see, is there a Defiler? I don't think so. He's just got a butt ton of Ultras, and they are just going to try to run this over. But hey man, Infinity Storms is pretty good. There are thankfully Overlords along with this.
Yeah, I was going to say the DT could have killed everything, but that was a bit unfortunate. But it looks like the Ultras have broken this position. The Reaver going to come out, not going to be able to fire, most likely.
It couldn't build the Scarabs fast enough. The probes also transfer right through Lurker spikes, so I think this is Norgrim doing it. 80 supply up, and Cindy falling to the wrath of late game Zerg.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful to see late game Zerg like this. We've got a lot of High Templar in the middle of the map do get plagued. Now, plaguing High Templar almost feels a little bit overkill. I mean, they have 40 health to begin with and 40 shields, and he gets another great plague. This is one of those moments where you really want to see the kind of new style that Best is trying out, going for a lot of feedback. But unfortunately, Simbi, I mean, he's mined out this gas in the bottom left. He's mined out this gas in the bottom right as well, so he's actually effectively mining no gas at the moment. He's mining 4 gas every trip. It's 1 per trip if I'm rightly depleted.
Yes. So it does actually take quite a bit, but I think that the ability to mine that out is probably the least significant part of this game. What is left here for Simbi? He's way down, and basically, I guess he's not mining anymore except for that bottom right-hand base, and even that's almost mined out.
Yeah, oh my god, that Scourge in the perfect position to intercept there now.
Wow.
The kind of funny thing here is that Simbi is just trying to get harassment damage done, but Norgrim has had these bases for so long and so many drones that he's actually just got such a huge bank. The harassment, if anything, is hurting Simbi more than it's saving him, because that's High Templar and Zealots he's not going to have in his main army. And I mean, I think this fight could decide the game. It looks like Norgrim getting ready to move in from multiple angles. There's a lot of Reavers, a lot of Archons, but this is just so many Ultras.
Yeah, he did get the Reaver Scarab damage upgrade, so these Reavers are like two-shotting Ultras. It's like, well, it's 4, but anyway, it's very, very strong, but you gotta have a buffer for them, and nothing can stand up to the ride of the Ultralisks. 5-3 Ultras running through absolutely everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've got another Reaver out here on the front, but the trouble is Simbi is out of money, realistically. He has one base half mining. He's trying to get that base in the middle again, but how do you take a base against a Zerg just constantly throwing Speedlings, constantly throwing Ultras your way? It's very, very hard. And I think this is
how
kind
do you
of the
break
death
this?
blows.
Is there actually any more storm? Wow. I want to count the number of storms this game, because it felt like Simbi just never ran out. But finally, it appears as if the well has run dry, and that's going to do it. GG. Norgrim takes out the newcomer Simbi to give iRk the first win in this series.
He does indeed. Now that was a really, really sick win by Norgrim, just kind of playing to his strengths in this game, just getting a lot of bases, getting a lot of money, spending a lot of money on Ultras. I mean, there's not really much more you can do better than that.
Yeah.
I think if anything, when iRk are picking the maps, I think they have to sort of... I think Age picks sometimes, but then I think he asks the players what map they want to play. Because someone, I can't remember what clan they were in, but they were a bit confused about how the map selection worked. They thought it was random. I don't know why, but it's kind of weird because, well, it's not weird. I think it's more, that map definitely suits Norgrim's style more than any other map, just for those sort of corner bases.
Yeah.
So that definitely worked out as a good pick.
It's just super good series. PvZ on that match, on that map specifically, is just great. We've had so many good games there, so hope to see that trend continue. Maybe we'll have other good maps for other matchups, and I guess we kind of do. But specifically that match for that map for PvZ, very good. So.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute or so with game number 2 as I just load up the replay and get a quick drink. See you guys very soon. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix, joining me is Rapid, and we're here to watch iRk versus White Clan, the throwback with Norgrim actually taking iRk up 1-0 in this series, so a good start for iRk.
Yeah, super good. I would say that maybe that's a good start, but you know, they have their work cut out for them. I will say that this is the strength of iRk is that they run almost the same lineup every week, and it's all of their best players. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, well, they're putting 100% into this. Whereas White Clan, they rotate through a massive roster, so you kind of never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, so we're actually going to get one of the newer players here in Gogi. I think we're saying the name right, not too sure,
Yeah.
but he is going to be up against Marwin. Now, neither of them have played that many games in the STPL, so let's get straight in to the map intro, and we can have a look at what map we're going into. Okay guys, so we are going to be we're going to be looking at Neo Chain Reaction here. Now Neo Chain Reaction, we had a fantastic PvT on here the other day between Ann and Scan. If you did miss that, you can check it out on the STPL TV YouTube. That's where all the VODs of the games do go up. They also go up on this Twitch channel as VODs as well. But really good long late game PvT there. We also saw Hitmap versus Seriosity, the series before that. That's probably the biggest contrast of games I've ever seen in a single day. So check out both those games. For the second one, you won't need very much time, but you'll definitely see sort of contrasting styles and everything. It is a two-player map. Does come all the way back from 2011 in the SK Planet Pro League Season 1. And overall, it's just a really cool map for PvT. So let's get into game number 2. It's Neo Chain Reaction. And it's Gogi versus Marwin. Okay, starting us off here in the right-hand position, we do have the Red Terran fighting for iRk. It's Marwin.
That's right, and on the other side of the map in the brown is Protoss. This is Gogi. Your excuse me, your Korean pronunciation lesson for the day is that anytime you see double letters, usually it'll be like double J or maybe double S or something. Double G is a little bit rare, and it just means that it's kind of like a harder R. Technically, it's aspirated, which means that you say it with a little bit more air coming out of your mouth. It's one of the weirder ways to like say a sound, but it's like a hard G. And from what I understand is that G with just one G, Gogi is like meat. So that's like the meat that you'd eat in dumplings or maybe at a restaurant. But with double G's, I think it means like the twist motion. Like if you have twine, the twist and twine is like what this word kind of means. So one of those two things. I never like to read too much into it because some of these names actually don't really mean very much. But there's my best guess.
Yeah, just talking about this game, one thing we can read into this is last week we did see Proxy Barracks in TVP. This time we're going to see a Proxy Gateway. We're going to have a gas steal as well, and my Terran heart bleeds because this is when things get a little bit more difficult. Obviously it forces you into going into like a 1-Rax fast expand, which on this map isn't exactly the easiest build to do.
Yeah.
And we can see that Marwin is sending out his SCV. Now, the funny thing about this position of this gateway is I'm fairly certain this is just in the normal scout path. So if Marwin just goes to scout, he should see this coming.
Yeah, but I mean, his scout's gonna be so delayed because he's got tons of stuff to do at home. You gotta attack this assimilator with maybe like 3, 4 SCVs just to try to take it out, and so these SCVs are not gonna be scouting. I would be surprised if we saw him go in for mana pylons because that's sort of the nail in the coffin, right? You've done so much with just a probe to harass the Terran opponent that at this point you're just like, well, he just doesn't have a whole lot. First Marine's less than halfway done, and there's already a Zealot about to enter the base. And as soon as this SCV scouts it, whoa, it turns around. It's like, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things you bring it up every once in a while when you see there's certain skill checks in Brood War. Now, this is kind of one of those skill check builds. Like, when you're a low level Terran, oftentimes, like, me included, like, you will just die to this because all of a sudden everything feels like nothing makes any sense. The Zealot seems to have about 500 health, and it's like, why isn't it ever dying? But when you start to learn to deal with it, which Marwyn is doing a very good job of at the moment, he's actually not lost a single Marine.
Yeah, that's actually super impressive.
Yeah,
theoretically, you should actually start to lose a bunch of Marines because you can't fit all of your Marines between the depot and the barracks, so you can just run a Zealot on either side and take them out. So I think it's way more efficient to try to use 2 Zealots to hit this instead of just 1, because you can actually force hits onto Marines if you're not careful. So yeah, this is not reaching that critical mass of Zealots. The problem though is that he will never mine gas. He will never be able to like mine any gas off this base, so he'll never have anything but Marines. I think you have to throw down either, okay, well he puts the CC down, that's a lot of confidence. I was thinking maybe you like try to deep six this guy, because like when are you going to build a factory? When is that going to happen?
It's one of those kind of funny things. We saw this recently. There was actually a tournament this happened in. I'm trying to remember exactly what one. But basically, when this happens, sometimes it's better to just throw down a second racks and go all in with just Medic Marine. But it looks like Marwyn's going to try and play this one out. But you can see that, I mean, his micro has been insane this whole time. But all of a sudden, you've been doing it so long that the Zealots suddenly get more and more valuable because it gets harder and harder to keep on top of everything. And it's just kind of crazy how this is working. He's killed so many of these Marines now, and there's still Zealots in his base.
Yeah, the Zealot's main job is just to exist. Like, the longer you just stay alive, the critical mass of
Zealots...
he's
gonna cancel the CC again.
Oh my gosh. He canceled the refinery as well. Oh no, the SCV's trapping the Marine against the Zealot. That's not supposed to happen.
Oh, and he gets the other SCV on the CC.
Yeah.
Marwyn is just getting so far behind.
If you lose like basically any Marines here, it's just so critical. And I think this is just way too much damage to take. Like, let's not get it twisted though. This is a lot of resources to dump into a gateway, which should be unpowered eventually, and just harassing. But he's killed a bunch of SCVs. There's actually 3 SCVs not mining at all because Marwyn hasn't sent them to mine. So, there we go. Finally getting this voice to work. But
that Marine survived with 8 health. He got the final shot as the blades were going for him. That guy, he's a very lucky man.
Okay, well, not anymore. Anyway.
In chat, Radley said something that makes a lot of sense. Now, usually behind this, you'll see a Cybernetics core come up a lot quicker, and all of a sudden, the 4 Zealots you've just killed become Dragoons, and when you don't have a tank, you just die. But Gogi actually went to go for an expansion instead. Now, this is going to give Marwyn a chance to expand. Now, he still does have to worry about this Zealot. He doesn't have anything to kind of micro here, so this bunker's likely going to get cancelled, at least for the time being.
Ooh! Who's this guy think he is? Boxer? Look at that micro. Very, very good. And one of the reasons that push was, or that rush was so hard to hold is that he built a command center while he's getting proxy Zealot rushed.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to do. So he made it a little bit hard on himself, but now he's going to reap the rewards of that. He can build double SCVs at a time. He's got his Expo up, and that's one of the benefits of Terran is you can float your Expo out there. Yeah. And the Toss did get a decent Expo timing of his own. He's got range about halfway done on the way behind this. And here will come those Dragoons. So this is round 2 where you get to tax the Terran by having these ranged Dragoons hit this bunker. But, you know, Marwin's not in an insurmountable place. He's down a little bit in supply, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, now the good thing is for Marwin, he's finally going to be able to get a scout out. Looks like Gogi didn't see that initially, so he's going to have to chase that back. But that does give Marwin a way into the base, and this is quite possibly the most important moment in the game. He's going to scout this Nexus, he's going to scout the Robo, is only now just coming up. And he's going to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, because behind this, he now knows there's no Citadel. He knows there's no DTs coming for him, and he knows he doesn't, at least for the time being, have to worry about Reavers.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing is, like, when you would go Rax expand, a lot of times you'll just kind of rush to get turrets, because if they're trying to DT rush you, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
And right now, there is still no detection, so he scouts that, and he breathes a gigantic sigh of relief. It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't die instantly. So
Yeah.
he made it, but for how much longer? He's going to have a bunch of Dragoons start hitting this this bunker, and I mean, he already doesn't have like an insane economy after losing a bunch of SCVs. So let's see what this starts to look like, because there's 2 goons at a time, and one of them coming from a proxy gate.
Yeah, it gets a little bit dangerous. Now, the 2 factories have been finished for Marwin now. He's going to have his first tank. He's still going to have to worry about this bunker. This is one of those other skill checks. Realistically, this shouldn't be that difficult to deal with. But when you've got so many Dragoons attacking the bunker, if this bunker goes down, it's game over. That's it. But his repair, he repaired properly. He managed to hold off, at least for the time being. And now siege mode's done.
Yeah, but this tank's not in a position where you can stop all the Dragoons. I think if you attack from the top part of the concave, you can still hit the bunker. But realistically, your time here is up.
Yeah.
So it's time to pull back and see what else you can do. So either you kind of pull back and slingshot another all-in attempt to try to crush the natural, or you get some sort of tech, or you expo. And what we're starting to see here is the expo. And it's kind of interesting for me to see Gogi's reaction be to play macro. He, instead of going for the Dragoons earlier, he expos. Instead of going for a huge like tech or bust, he expos. And so that's really cool, because it is going to give us a chance to see a longer game, but one where Gogi is always the player that's kind of dictating the pace of it.
Yeah, now one thing from my side that I'd like to point out is Marwin, he was delayed a lot, but he didn't actually take that much damage. Like, he didn't lose too many SCVs. He lost about 6 or 7 SCVs, which is huge. But he managed to get his expo up now, and he is going to be able to turtle up at least until he gets maybe for that 2-1 timing push that a lot of people do. He's obviously going to need to move out soon and go for an expansion. But he knows that Gogi isn't super far ahead of him. Obviously, he will know eventually that there's a 3rd base coming in, but Gogi spent a lot of minerals just throwing zealots away there to only really kill Marines, so we've still got a game on our hands here.
The game will continue, but let's see how effective these vultures are going to be. Trying to break through with mines. There is an observer right overhead, so that's why you can see he's not focusing the mines. You don't have that obs there. That gets really tricky, but that's another skill check. It's like, can you stop these random run-bys? And he does.
Yeah, now there is an obs over Marwin's army. Now Marwin is going to use the fact that he pulled the Dragoons back to try and move forward and get rid of this gateway. That is a very, very big play, but he does need to be careful. This is still a lot of units over here for Gogi, and his tanks are actually quite spread out. So if these Dragoons decide to push in, they could get a couple of free tanks here. Well, not free, but...
Well, yeah, he doesn't have any zealots, so it's not free, but it's pretty good. He needs to start. Oh, he doesn't have the number of Dragoons to one-shot these tanks, so that is
yeah, that's
a little bit suboptimal.
But here we go, another huge amount.
A big swell of reinforcing Dragoons. Still, but you really need zealots to kind of crush that.
Yeah,
he does
Marwin got the better
tank count.
Yeah, I think Marwin though got the better edge of that. He killed a lot of Dragoons, only lost about 3 tanks. And he was already kind of behind, so being able to trade away army like that isn't actually that bad. He's going to add up to 7 factories now. He's still actually on 2 bases, so he is going to be going all in from here at least. Well, not necessarily all in, it's just a little bit harder to expand off the back of 6 or 7 factories. But I mean, he is in a
really
fairly good
7?
position. Yep, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, this is pretty all in.
Yeah.
I think 5 factories is like, okay, I get it. 6 is like, well, we're just producing a lot of army, and then 7 is just like, look, man, we are just really gonna try to kill this guy, and it's coming at the same time that Gogi is getting his 4th base up. So he's gonna have to maybe hold on a little bit. 7 factories is just an insanity amount of mech.
Yeah, he's going to have double tank producing, 5 vultures at a time. He will obviously need to add some Goliaths eventually, just because he does want to be able to take down those observers. Interestingly, Gogi isn't actually going into the... Oh, I say that, there's actually an observer directly over the factory. So Gogi knows exactly what's going on. He has observers absolutely everywhere as well, and he does have speed for them as well, which isn't something you... Well, it is something that comes up, but... it's not often used as much in PvT just because it suddenly means the observers run quicker than your army and you run into like mines and die, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, things are looking good for Gogi. He just needs to really hold this all in and he should be in a good position.
Yeah, there's double machine shop here too, so we are yeah, it's 2 tanks at a time and infinity vultures. So let's see how well this is going to work out. He does actually somehow...
Oh, this is a really nice drop in the bottom left, or bottom right even.
Yeah. I'm super surprised that he's dropping and trying to go for these big pushes, because usually you would just kind of try to steamroll through. But he is really stressing Gogi out. He completely eliminates this base from the picture until this wall gets broken down. Always sucks as a Protoss to try to have to break through your own wall, because then you just run vultures right back through there. And
Yeah,
look at how many mines there are. He's just going to pick up and leave.
Now, if he picks up, he can actually go over to this other base that's also half walled out, and this is actually a really long way away from all of those Dragoons.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, Dragoon's actually coming in at the perfect time to intercept this dropship. The dropship goes down.
That's really good pick off. So, all right, and this is sort of the last chance that Gogi is going to have to say, okay, I dealt with everything, I held it all off, let's get all the tech up that I need. He's going for recall at the same time as arbiters, at the same time as storm, at the same time as observer sight range, the develop sensor array.
Yeah,
What?
he's
The weirdest name for an upgrade ever.
Now, has he got stasis yet, or is he going straight into
No.
recall? I think
I do
recall
not-
isn't
I-
that bad of a choice here. We saw some great recalls from Anne the other day, and I mean, Marwyn isn't going to have enough stuff to defend absolutely everything, so either he recalls the
Yeah.
third, pushes the front, or he recalls the main, pushes the front, and things could get a little bit hairy. And I say that, and the game lags, but oh my god, that's a good mine.
The game lagged, but more importantly, yes, the mines went off. The mines did not lag. They were doing a pretty good job there. And so, well, that did limit the Protoss army. We are seeing a third base behind this, so I think, we said that 7 factories is kind of all in. If you stay on 2 bases, then yeah, but he's not. He used it to produce the units he needed to kind of slingshot back to a position where he could expo behind it. It's a weird way of doing it, but everything's going to kind of equal out at the end. And there's not that many bases on this map. This is a super small map, so for Protoss, you got to start getting these extra bases up.
Yeah, no, I mean, the other day we saw a PvT not too different from this. I mean, we started off with a different situation, but you start to see when the map starts splitting that things get a little bit more difficult for Terran, because with Anne and Scan, you saw that Scan was really finding it troublesome to actually secure any other bases. But here we go, the Arbor coming in for a recall here in the main, gonna drop on some mines. But that's so many units in the back of the Terran main at the moment, and he's actually on top of the armory, but luckily enough for Marwyn. +2 attack has just finished.
Yeah, very good timing on the attack upgrade. Also nice D-Matrix to kind of stop 3-4 Zealots kind of in their tracks. He doesn't actually get that much damage done. Also, I feel like the Zealots were very dumb there. I think he was trying to target down the armory because he could see it spinning, but he actually could have gotten maybe 2-3 more depots. I don't know. If wishes were horses, right? There is still another big group of gateway units with that arbiter out in the middle. So he's going to try to continue to come through here and bust a little bit, try to segment off this third base.
He's going to stasis
he's
the
doing a really
back
good job
tanks.
of it. Oh, very, very good. It's not the front tank, so these zealots can actually continue to run by. If he chooses to go up, I think that's the place to go to try to stop this fledgling base from coming up.
Yeah, thing is, there's still a lot of tanks on the high ground now. The unit's coming back from defending its recall, but there's just so many zealots. Oh wow, the mine drag doesn't go off, but there's storm here as well.
Yeah, and the cloaking field continues, even though there is actually that science vessel. So maybe you got to deal with that. Yeah, push that away, and maybe this bust will be a little bit more effective. Because he's really, really low on scan energy at this point. He's got 2 more in the main, and I think that's it. So it's going to be at a premium with that science vessel pushed out.
Oh, these Dragoons are going to get stuck, though. There's a lot of tanks coming in from behind. There's no zealot reinforcements coming in here. A good storm does go down on those tanks, but that's a lot of dead Protoss army. And Marwyn is probably going to be quite happy with that trade. He didn't lose all that many tanks.
He didn't lose all that many tanks. I would have liked to see maybe less invested in that and then maybe more into another recall, because you're just not going to be able to split your forces that quickly. He does. Marwyn has an actually insane number of tanks here. He has a very, very high tank count. But he does need to keep that vulture count up, because you can't just let the Arbiter cloak the zealots and let them run up right onto your tanks. Yeah,
that's always one of the funny things. Now, Marwyn is going to try and take a 4th base up here in the top left. Now, due to the fact he had to go back and defend that, all of a sudden all of his tanks are in a bad position to defend his expansions. And oh no, it looks like Marwyn's actually got a lot of his SCVs trapped behind this temple in the top left as well. So,
I mean, you can just send those SCVs to mine that mineral patch, and it'll, like, there's enough SCVs there to mine it all out.
It's kind of hard to notice when there's so much stuff on, but yeah,
no, that's full 12 SCVs or 11 SCVs. Good job though by Gogi to shut down this 12 o'clock base, or I guess that's 11 o'clock. Taking that out means that, you know, Marwyn's Expo rampage has been stopped. And because he's mined out in his main, this is not a lot of economy for our Terran player. Protoss is still mining off of like 3-4 bases, so he's
and he
pretty good here.
He just got the new base in that top left as well, so that's going to be very difficult for Marwyn to go and attack. Now, Marwyn does look like he is going to try and take this base in the bottom right. That's going to be very difficult to hold, and this is where this map kind of comes into play. It makes it very difficult for Terran to expand past 3 bases if you don't get a good position. And if he stretches to the top left, all of a sudden he gets recalled in his main, but the mine positioning from Marwyn is just fantastic this game. He's got such a good ring of vision.
Breaking through these Zelnaga temples and just running by, gonna drag a bunch of mines into, well, nothing. But
zealots.
Let's kill them off. These storms have been very good at kind of limiting these vultures or softening them up.
Oh, this could be a huge mine!
Whoa! Well, okay, no, there wasn't. No, there wasn't.
No.
That could have been absolutely catastrophic. He loses an observer here, so there's no more observer here with the army. But just denting this base over and over and over again is, I think, mission accomplished for Gogi.
Yeah, this is kind of funny because they didn't break down the temple. What happened earlier was Marwyn, when he was trying to secure that 4th base, mined out those minerals. Now, he still hasn't actually mined out the minerals in the top right, so he still has 12 SCVs, or 11 SCVs there, which a little bit unfortunate. That's 11 SCVs not mining at his 3rd, which he could really do with right now. His economy is in tatters at the moment. He's got so many SCVs and barely any patches to mine from at the moment, and things are just getting a little bit out of hand.
Yes, they certainly are, Kicks. This is, I mean, whenever the Terran player has to only defend one base, it's like, well, you're probably not going to be able to push through there because the mech defense is so strong. But the problem is that you can't defend there forever. I know, guys. Oh my gosh, the stasis, the D-Matrix though comes through to kind of block up in front. But I mean, this is the emergency D-Matrices to try to hold everything. The entire army gets taken out, and I think that's basically game over at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Marwyn just doesn't have any units anymore. I don't know where his vultures ended up going after he lost them. I don't think he rebuilt them or something, but...
Yeah, most of them got stormed, actually, and it was hard to rebuild those. I mean, Marwyn does have a huge bank, but at some point you need to reach that critical mass, and he didn't get back up to that after losing his forces earlier.
Yeah, so it looks like this could be the finishing blow here for Gogi. I mean, Marwyn still does have a mining base, but it's just, can he even deal with all these units? He lost both of his science vessels, and he can't have that many scans given the fact he's only on 3 commands, and there's a nice stasis going down on those front things, and we've actually got a large amount of zealots actually making their way into the 3rd base as well, and this is surely going to be it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do at this point? You got no money.
He's got many problems though, and that's... I mean,
That's true.
Marwyn has all of his SCVs stuck behind these temples now. That's it. He mined out this main, mined out this natural, and all the SCVs trying to transfer across are still not there. This is one of those moments when you're playing the game and you're just like, why have I got no money? Like, where's all my mining? Yeah, there we go. He's finally noticed. He's going to mine out these mineral fields almost immediately. But he's got so few units, it's almost like it doesn't even matter now.
Yeah, all of his SCVs are just running around there, and they've been running around there forever. So, well, that's gonna do it. Yeah, GG. Marwyn types out, and Gogi wins his game for White Clan to even up the series.
Does indeed. Now, that is, I mean, 1-to-1 White Clan versus iRk. We've been here before, so it's not like these two teams haven't met each other, and they've actually had quite even, well, the first series, iRk won in a really convincing fashion. Second series, they got 4-0'd, then they unfortunately got 6-0'd in the finals. But that was a different iRk back then. They kind of went through a period of change in round 2 and round 3. They didn't do as well. But then they added players like Marwyn, players like Kenzie to their roster. All of a sudden, things got a lot better for them. So we're actually going to see Kenzie coming up next. Marwyn didn't get his patented win for them this time. But let's see if Kenzie can as we get into the 3rd game on La Mancha after this very short break. See you guys very soon. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix, joining me is Rapid. We're here for iRk versus White. We're tied up 1-1 at the moment, and we're going to go into game number 3 on La Mancha, which should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, love La Mancha. I'm glad to see it in this map pool. You done good there, Kix. It's a map
Cool.
that's a little bit rarer, but you know, it's not way out there, right? There's no like ultra weird mechanics or anything. I think people should pretty much identify with it, and it's going to be a continuation of what should continue to be an amazing series.
Yeah, so first of all, we're going to have first here. That wasn't meant to be a pun, but it kind of worked out as one. Now, first is probably the player on White Clan in the STPL with the lowest win ratio, so he has a lot to prove here going up here against his third Zerg. He actually lost to Hirmu and Jerry, K97 to iRk, the last time they fought off. So this is going to be kind of his revenge match here in the Revenge Van. I still can't believe that was a thing OGN did, but yeah, that's kind of cool. But looking at iRk, we're going to have Kenzie. Kenzie is doing incredibly well for iRk. He's 4-1. He's beaten 3 Protoss players already in Talon, Castle, and Tech. Not the highest ranked Protoss players in the STPL, but obviously at the moment first isn't there either. So hopefully this should be a fairly cool match. Maybe Kenzie will take us 2-1 and maybe we'll see an ace match here. Not too sure. Let's see how this is all gonna go as we get into our third map just after I actually get the right intro video loaded, and then we can get started. Yeah, it's a map you guys may have seen a little bit more, but there we go. Let's switch over and see you guys in just a sec. Okay, so we're here on La Mancha. Just to quickly go through the map a little bit, it was a very, very famous map back in the day. It was used for the 2011 Winners League, and you know what, overall it's a really, really cool macro map used more recently in Mu Pro League Season 1 and 2, and it's back here for the STPL. So the positions here are going to make this play out a little bit differently to how you'd normally expect a map to go. We've got the Zerg player in the bottom right, Protoss player in the bottom left. Now, the Protoss player does have a couple of options for a third. You've got the 6 o'clock base here or the 9 o'clock. Now, to get the 9 o'clock, you push yourself open to sort of multiple angles of attack from the Zerg, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Yeah. But obviously, if you expand down here to the bottom middle, it allows you to push closer to the Zerg and defend against this little bridge. So, not sure how we're going to see this play out. Obviously, we could just see a Hydra bust and end the game in 6 minutes, or we could see yet another macro game. I mean, we've had 2 macro games so far in this series, so should be cool to see if this one is going to be it as well. Let's head in to game number 2, which is going to be First versus, yeah, it's I couldn't remember the name of the players. It's First versus Kenzie. And just quickly, Hazardy, I don't think that emote is him hating on Diablo 2. Starting us down here in the bottom right hand position, we do have the blue Zerg player. For iRk, it's Kenzie.
And his opponent on the other side of the map as the purple Protoss is first. Okay, yeah, I would say that back in the day this used to be a very ZVP map. Zerg players did very, very well, but this was also a lot of these stats came from the pre Jaedong kind of era, because this map has been around for
they most certainly didn't. No, this map's from 2011.
Is this?
This
okay,
is
what
one of
map
the
am I
newest maps.
thinking of? There's another desert tile set that has. Yeah. I'm probably thinking of
Yeah.
Coliseum, because Coliseum is actually one of the most ancient maps. I think
That was
Coliseum was that.
2009.
Yeah. But you're correct. So this is a newer map. I don't know why I was thinking about the other one. But
It's 'cause
everything
we
that
had
you
it
said
round
was
3.
correct. Everything that I said was incorrect. Just only listen to Kicks this broadcast, guys. But it is very wide open. So yeah, pushing through the map is difficult.
Yeah, you do have the kind of windmill center there, which does make things a little bit harder to move through. It means in this position, Zerg is actually going to have a longer attack path. Now, I actually got my positions wrong at the beginning, so telling people to listen to me is probably not the best idea either. Maybe just don't listen to us, because both of us, we're doing pretty well today. But we're going to have an easier Protoss third base here in that top left middle position. So I think if there's a possibility of this game going long, we'll likely see the map split vertically, but obviously there's still a way to go before that could ever possibly happen. So
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
So let's see what's gonna happen here. Nice scout there by the young probe. It was a double scout, so sacrificing a lot of economy to do that. This is the opposite of those big brain Protoss players that don't scout because they want the extra minerals.
yeah,
The double scout just make sure they aren't being rushed or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, it's one of the things that when you feel confident in your own play, a lot of the time the most super confident people just won't scout. Like, you'll see them scout incredibly late, or they'll get their forge and then scout, or usually pile on scout for Protoss. But if you're a little bit worried maybe about someone doing something a little bit more cheesy to you, maybe a 9-pull speed or a 5-pull, which was certainly seen in the STPL against Protoss, then double scouting isn't necessarily the worst thing to do. It gives you that peace of mind of knowing what you're up against, which a lot of the times, maybe when you're unfamiliar with a map or when you're unfamiliar with a certain player, it's a little bit safer to do.
A lot of times when you see a Protoss player double scout, they'll try to go with an early nexus if they scout that you're going for a hatchery build, and this is not what we had this time. It was a cannon or forge. It was pylon, forge, cannon, expo, and we're gonna have the cyber court, the natural. Okay. But overall, everything is going to be normal. There's nothing super crazy to watch out for. Although I will say this is 2-base lair, so maybe there is.
There's 3 bases. Top right.
Wait, where? Oh.
Yeah.
It's so far away, Kicks. This is such a big map. Do you think I have the energy at 6 a.m. in the morning to drag my eyes to the top part of this map?
Yeah, it's difficult, but the good thing is for first is he's actually going to go up and scout this. Now, scouting that... Wait. I don't think... He wouldn't have seen the hatchery, I don't think.
No, he wouldn't have. Maybe he saw the Overlord?
I mean, he would have seen the Overlord, but that's nothing too surprising. I mean, this could be a bit of a mistake here by first. If he doesn't know about that third hatchery in the top middle, or the top right even, there's he could be in for a world of hurt if he tries to push out thinking the Zerg doesn't have anything. I mean, he could think that it was a muta build, but there's no second gas, and he hasn't seen that yet. So this is awkward.
Yeah, good job catching the Zealot out on the map. That's going to make the life of these bases definitely easier. Still hasn't dealt with a probe, and it's about 5 minutes, so the ability to keep the probe alive for 5 minutes is definitely on top of the Protoss checklist, because it will see the lair and everything hatching out of these eggs. It also sees no triple egg morphs, so he definitely knows it's not mutas.
Yeah.
Because he'll see the spire not completed.
Yeah, so the spire's done now.
No,
sorry. The spire is down, is what I meant to say. It's building.
There we go.
There's still no Hydra Den, still no 4th hatchery yet, or 5th hatchery now. Kenzie, I think, out of all the players today, is also very unlikely to go for anything super cheesy or super aggressive, kind of like Norgrim did either. So he is going to build that 4th hatchery there. Should see a 5th hatchery most likely in this top right base. Now, the kind of funny thing about that top right base is not only is it far from the Zerg's bases, it's I think it is actually the furthest place away on the map to Protoss, so he's going to feel pretty safe about that base. He's not going to have to worry about any sort of super quick Zealot all-ins over there or anything like that. And he shouldn't need to build too much, but the 5th hatchery going up there as well, just to start that wall off.
Okay, so what direction is this game gonna go, Kix? I'm guessing we're gonna see another sort of big 5-hatch Hydra swell across the map to try to kill the poor, helpless, defenseless force of rightness and justness that is the Protoss natural expansion. But I think first should be okay here. Is he getting Storm yet? Okay, no, he's just not finished the Templar Archives. But
Yeah.
he should have Storm up in plenty of time to deal with this. My thing is, do you want to see some sort of like Reaver drop play? I always like really like that on maps that have these big sort of slices out of the side of the map, because it means that you're going to be able to kind of poke in, and maybe if there's no Overlord there, you can get a nice Reaver drop off. But it's going to be DTs instead.
Yeah, Corsair Reaver I don't think is all that good on this map, just because I know there is a lot of dead space around the edge, but unlike other maps like say New Medusa where there's just so much dead space that you can just hide shuttles, like you can actually just have Hydras down here, shuttles won't be able to get through, and overall it's going to be harder to take your 3rd base on this map with Reavers. Storm is obviously going to be a lot better in this sort of choky area.
Yeah.
Reavers do struggle a little bit with that, so definitely not the best map for Corsair Reaver, but it will be cool to see it.
Well, one of the things is you can't fit Hydras behind the mineral line at the natural expansion, so maybe that makes it a little bit easier. But there are spores at the bases, so that should definitely help against any kind of like drop harassment. Yeah, plenty of Corsairs, but like I said, those spore placements really do help quite a bit. Wow, how did he get Carapace for Flyers? Yeah, he is actually in the process of getting Flyer Carapace. That's actually pretty interesting. So maybe we'll have like a late Muta switch. I don't know. That'll be really cool to watch.
Yeah, well, there's Queen's Nest and Evo Chamber coming down at exactly the same time. There's still actually no Hydralisks on the map from what I can tell. I think there may be like 1 or 2 used as defense against the Corsairs, but
yeah,
very possibly you're right.
Spores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be going for Mutas here.
Where are these 3 lurkers hatching? Oh yeah, they're up at the natural expo, or the 3rd base. See, what are we watching for? Corsair scouting the main. He's gonna see that there's nothing stopping a drop to come in the main. This main is totally undefended. He's getting double creep colonies in here, and maybe gonna morph those into some spores. But look at all these lings, man. That's a lot. There's a lurker with him.
There's also a DT with them as well, which is kind of funny. He's been chasing around his new friends, seeing what he can get done. Now, he will eventually be able to kill all these lings. He has given away his position now, so one problem that First is going to have is he's still not got a 3rd base. He's not opted to try and go for one either, and his gateway count isn't specifically all that high. Now, he does get a good storm off on that one lurker, so
He stormed his own DT.
oh, that's a little bit unfortunate, but you know what? 7 gateways here for First. Going to be building up a large army before he moves across the map here to either try and take a 3rd or try and go for the killing blow. But Kenty is doing a really good job kind of getting his defenses up. He's got lurkers at both bases now, spores, sunkens as well, and he's just kind of turning up to Hive here. So Kenty's in a very good position right now in this game.
It is indeed. Yeah, Kenzie has not really been harassed. And this is where you start to see the difference between Zerg players. Do you get your infrastructure up? Do you try to put down a lot of static defense, tons of drones everywhere? Or do you go for like some sort of big attack? And the big attack has been more popular recently, at least out here in South Korea, where you try to stop this 3rd base from coming up. But Kenzie's choosing the opposite way. He's getting huge tech. He's all the way up to Hive with Adrenal on the way at 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is
he's
so
got 4
quick.
bases, tons of drones. He is just zooming up the tech tree.
Now, are we going to see the same thing as Norgrim here? Is he going to go for Ultras, or do you reckon he's going for... I mean, he could even go for Guardians if he wanted to. I guess the fact he's going for melee upgrades, Ultras are probably the next logical conclusion. The Ultras, they do have their weaknesses against late game Protoss. It's just whether or not First can get enough bases to deal with them.
I would expect to maybe see I mean, I think we're just gonna get Swarm out, right? It should be Defiler Den. Yeah, it's just now coming down. So I think we're just gonna try to swarm him with Cracklings. This is the fastest crack upgrade or Adrenal upgrade that I've seen in quite a while. So we'll see how much storm energy is there. I think there's 3 storms here, so this should be doable,
Yeah.
especially with a flank coming through.
Now, the thing is, the Hydra Den's going to go down. Now, I mean, luckily
That's
enough
awkward.
for Kenzie, he's not opting to go full Hydra. I mean, it looks like we are going to have a shot going into the top right. There's only actually 1 High Templar in here with 1 Zealot, so... Well, it doesn't matter,
Ooh, that's
Storm
like-
is really good, so...
Yes, Storm is in fact quite strong. Wow, that was very good. But the defensive infrastructure up here, SimCity, Sunkens, Spores, Hydra's Lurkers, that's going to be rough to break.
Yeah, the shot
Especially
actually
with no
goes
storm.
down. Oh, these Lurkers and Sunken's going to be doing so much, but the trouble is, even if he doesn't break the base, just getting this hatch rate is going to be huge. Huge thank you, Rock, for the host there. The Evolution Chamber is going to go down, which is going to be the main thing here. Now, first does need to be careful. He can't afford to lose these Dragoons. These are very expensive. He's only just now got his 3rd base up and running. So he is kind of in a little bit of danger here because Cracklings do so much damage to Dragoons. It's almost unfair, and we don't have full upgrades yet for this Protoss army.
Yeah, Cracklings versus Dragoons, it's not even close. The number of Dragoons that you need to fight a lower number of Cracklings is just impossibly high.
And this is going to be a
And
lot
yeah,
of
High
Cracklings
Templar
as
can't
well.
even do anything because they can't storm a small number. Also, they would probably deal more damage to the Dragoons. So
Yep.
this entire army gets killed off, and there's just so much infrastructure here from Kenzie. He's going to be powering these, this late game Zerg harder than anything First can do about it. So at this point, First has to pull back and be like, well, damn, what do I do? Storm drops might be kind of the way to go. But what
Yeah,
is this? What does this late game tech look like?
I think he's going Reavers, so Reavers are going to be his choice here.
Yeah.
Now that isn't necessarily that bad. He's actually going to take the 6 o'clock base. I think out of all of them, this could be the best one. Oh, the shuttle goes down. He does get a nice storm off, but only kills a single drone.
How did that storm look so good, but be so bad?
Kenzie's drones are just storm resistant. They put on their rubber boots.
Kicks, that's so dumb.
Yeah. Very, very dumb. They don't even have feet, so...
Yeah, what do they have? They have these little mandibles or whatever. You don't put boots on those. Maybe you need it's like, you ever seen that Twitter picture? It's like, how would a dog wear pants? Is it
Yeah.
does the pants go over the bottom or the back? It's like that. How would drones wear rubber boots? Do they? I don't know. It's just as dumb.
Okay, so the 5th base attempt has been shut down by First, but he's obviously now got a lot of units marooned over here in the right-hand side, and knowing this, Kenzie is going to try and go for an attack on this 9 o'clock base. There's no swarm here though, so the cannon should be able to hold on for the time being, but he still does need to be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, he does have
I mean,
swarm
this,
now, so this
yes,
is going to
he
get a
does.
little bit more dangerous. He is pushing over the single bridge though, which is a little bit interesting. Oh my god, he actually accidentally consumed a lurker by accident. Well, I suppose
Whoops.
accidentally would mean that, but either way, it looks like we are going to have Kenzie try and push across. The funny thing is, so hard to push over this bridge. He's not going to be able to get too many units through at a time.
Do we have another Dark Swarm? He needs to, yeah, there's the other Dark Swarm. Needs to get some more lurkers down here. He actually is having a hard time funneling he has some unburrowed lurkers on the bridge, so he's not as effective as it could be.
Oh my god, there's a double DT drop in this top right position. There's actually only a single Sunken in position to be able to deal with this. Looks like the second Sunken is getting a few hits on them, but there's also a storm drop in the 4th base as well. The army over in the left-hand side has finally broken through the cannons, but there's still so many units stuck on the bridge due to that one lurker. And First is cleaning house.
No, First absolutely killing it. That attempt, that is such a suicidal bridge to walk across. you know you're not getting out of there. You might not even get into there. I mean, it was a good attempt, but I feel like it's almost easier to drop these bases than it is to go over that tiny bridge.
Oh, but there's a lot of Lings going down here into the bottom left. A nice swarm goes down, but it's mostly Zealots under there. So the Zealots going to be doing a lot of damage to these Lings. 2-2 upgrades are done on the Lings. 3-0 for the Zealots. But this is going to be a lot of dead cannons and possibly a dead base if he can get another swarm over here. Oh, he may not even need the swarm.
Versus... He might actually need the swarm here, or just focus the cannon, my dude.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's so stupid. Like 2 cracklings run up to a cannon and it just falls over. I don't know. Yeah. So this base is super dead, and I think that's gonna be one of the first big wins that Kenzie's had this game, aside from just staying alive and getting insane economy.
Yeah. I mean, Kenzie has had a few problems, but he's now up to 5 bases. He's got the base in the top middle, furthest away from his opponent, so he's going to be feeling pretty good about that. More importantly, he's knocked first down back to 3 gas. Now, his natural is mined out, his main is very almost dry as well. And all of a sudden the well of minerals, the well of gas that first is going to need to deal with this late game flood of just all of these Zerg units is not going to be enough. Now we are going to have another storm drop going into this top right base, and there's actually a lot of drones here. Wow, that's a lot of dead drones in that base.
Okay, well, yeah, very few alive drones in that base, Kicks. But I mean, that's not even the economy, right? I mean, there's actually, wait, the DTs are, wait, what? Okay, so there's actually only 1 drone mining. Okay, actually no drones mining at the 12 o'clock. There's like 4 drones mining at the next base. 1 drone, wow, that's, are there just like no workers? Okay, I mean the main's about to dry up and maybe you can transfer some of those drones out there, but the economic harass is actually really significant.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's got a lot of lava to be able to rebuild drones, but that's units that he can't throw at the Protoss meat grinder. So, it looks like first in this moment is going to be able to secure his 4th base again, but there's a lot of Zerglings. Oh no, he's going over the bridge again. I'm not sure I agree with this, but the Lings coming in from the bottom could make the big difference here. They are going to kill a couple of the cannons. There's a DT here. Oh my god, could you imagine if he just had a DT parked on that bridge? He doesn't have an overlord over here.
Well, that would make me very sad, Kicks. That would, yeah, be super depressing. Yeah, it'd be cool. But I think this is finally a breach across this bridge. Turns out when you don't have an AFK lurker blocking all of your units,
yeah,
you can actually get over here and do damage. Yeah.
And this is kind of insane right now. There is an Archon under this swarm on 1 health, does go down. And Kenzie is, I can see from the minimap, slowly starting to rebuild a lot of his drones in that top right base, and first is in a lot of trouble. He's going to lose yet another mining base, and there's still so many minerals here. He needs this to survive, because over in the bottom middle, there's a swarm, there's some Lings coming over, and we've already seen what a small number of cracklings can do in this game. But wow, is he going to save the Nexus?
Man, Protoss units are just really good there, Kicks.
Oh, but I don't know if they're good enough for this. Swarm going down on top of those cannons. Lings
Ooh.
flooding into this bottom base. He may have saved the 3, but he's not going to save the 6. 9 even.
These are 3/3 cracklings.
Wow, that Nexus kind of
so
just
disgusting.
melted.
Yeah.
And the trouble
okay,
is,
well,
the probes are going to go down as well. He's not. He's finally going to turn them around now, but every single lost probe is going to be a massive deal. Now, we are going to see some more harassment coming in here for first. He's going to drop over at this right-hand base. Going to try and save the High Templar. He needs to keep them alive. The shuttle flying away from the Scourge, and he's going to get dropped down here. No, he's... Wow, he can't actually drop. Like, if he stops to try and drop, these High Templar are going to go down. But there we go. Storm does go down, only killing 4 drones this time. Actually storming his own High Templar there. I don't... What killed the... Oh, there was a... Must have been a Zergling that killed it or something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I didn't see that either. Okay. Well, I mean, it's commendable that First is being so vigilant with this harassment, because he also has to try to stay alive and get another base up. This is going to have to work out for First, otherwise, I don't know, Kenzie's just in such a good spot. Look at all this storm, almost actually too much storm.
Oh my god.
Huge amount of Archons coming through here as a way to try to deal with these cracklings. but there's just too many cracklings, and at that point, yeah, you're gonna have a rough time.
I don't know, Archons are pretty good against... Whoa, okay. I was going to say
Yeah,
Archons are pretty good
Cake.
against cracklings. I mean, this one's got 18 kills, goes down as well. Kenty holds. Corsairs coming in here to this right-hand base, trying to send his Corsairs over. A probe going up to the top right for some reason. Gonna scout, there are still a lot of units there. And first down to one mining base. Things are looking very dangerous here for first in game number 3.
Yes, indeed, quite dire straits here. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much longer this is going to be able to go on. I mean, we've got a Zerg with tons of income, rock solid bases,
huge bank
and
as
a
well.
Protoss. Oh yeah, I look up and I'm just like, oh wow, that is just quite a few resources. So there's like a little DT that can't over here trying to run around and get into a base. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he killed one drone as it was Maynarding.
Nice.
Cool.
He achieved his purpose in life, you know, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think this is pretty close to being the beginning of the end, or the end of the end, as the case may be here. Not sure what more we have to kind of see, but yeah, I mean, the Protoss just can't get a base.
Yep, can't expand again. GG. Actually storming a swarm and there was nothing there, but that's going to be the end of game number 3. Kenty taking a 2-1 lead for iRk here in their second game of the STPL Round 4.
Wow, yeah, very, very strong showing here from iRk. I would say that that's the thing about iRk, is they always run their best lineup. So up next, I think DeWalt is playing. So it's just like, well, okay, my dude. Also, DeWalt is living in South Korea right now. So his ping versus these South Korean players is going to be fantastic. So it's going to be an ideal situation for iRk, who are looking to close this series out 3-1.
Yep, so we're going to load up the next replay, and we'll be here with game number 4 in just a second. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We're here watching iRk versus White Clan. iRk have actually taken a 2-1 lead in the series, something they haven't been able to do since their first game in round 1. Could we see another iRk victory here finally?
I mean, it's the strongest part of their lineup. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I would say that White Clan is almost always the favorite, depending on which matchups they're going into. But iRk, man, really killing it. That win by Kenzie is that's super solid. I mean, first is no slouch. So win there really sets DeWalt up to a fantastic spot. And if they lose, there's still the ace match after them.
Yeah, so just quickly go through who the players are. We've got Gyro. He is the clan leader for Team White Clan. He is a really kind of well-rounded Terran player. Doesn't play as much as some of his fellow colleagues in the clan, but he leads from the front. Leads by example as well. 2-2 against Protoss here. But he's not played any of the Protoss on the same level as this guy right here. iRk's DeWalt is the second highest ranked player in the STPL. 20 wins, 6 losses. He's 7 for 3 against Protoss, against Terran even. The only Terrans he's actually lost to are Famasi, Koga, and Famasi again. Now that's no slouch to lose against them.
I know, for sure. DeWalt's just absolutely one of the best foreign players right now. He's been in the hyperbolic time chamber training out here in Korea. I think he hit like 2450 MMR the other day. Just what a monster. He's got wins over all the best non-Korean players, some of the best Korean players in the semi-pro scene. And I don't know. It's going to be, dare I say, hard for White to win this?
Very possibly. I mean, it's not often that you'd see that White are going in unprepared, but against DeWalt here, this could be difficult for our hero Gyro here, our Terran player, as we get into our 4th map of today. It's Neo Medusa.
Problem is, I have to watch a bunch of.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we're back here on Neo Medusa. I am just getting ready there. Obviously, Neo Medusa 3-player map. Not going to go into it too much. We've all seen it before. It's on the ladder as well. So if you've been playing ladder recently, you probably played a few games on here, unless you vetoed it for some reason. But it's a really cool 3-player map, all the way back from 2008, but still a relevant map today, a really fun map to play on. We've had some long games here, we've had some short games as well, and we're going to have another TVP. Currently, Terran are 1-0 up against Protoss. Can Gyro do what many would say is actually the impossible here and take down the Protoss Giant here in DeWalt? Or is DeWalt going to close out the series 3-1? Let's get into the game and let's find out. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the the yellow Protoss fighting for iRk. It's DeWalt.
I'm so jealous you got the DeWalt intro.
Yeah.
And then his opponent at the bottom of the map, our green Terran player. This is Gyro, or Hero, if you are talking about the delicious Turkish meat sandwich.
Oh yeah, you brought this up to me before and I had no idea what you were talking about. I just suddenly remembered. Oh man, Gyro's actually sending out 2 SCVs.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's trying to glitch an SCV into the main. And he does it! He gets through the temple straight away! What a cool move! And he's gonna go for a proxy barracks here.
Disgusting.
Oh, he sent
Get
out
these
another
Terran-
SCV. Look at him.
Get these Terran. Oh, so he doesn't actually know. He sent out 3 SCVs because he's gonna try to glitch it through on both sides, but he realizes, uh-oh, okay, I did it right the first time.
And I'd just like to point out that is so difficult to glitch through there.
Dude, is he gonna BBS this? I think
He
he's
is.
gonna try.
He's not going to be able to do it from here, though. He needs to move the SCV over. Oh no.
Yeah.
He's actually messed it up. He can't do it anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, you can't do it anymore. All right. He was gonna BBS with 3 SCVs. Like already, BBS is like, well, you're just killing yourself here. But to A, it's delayed by having to glitch. B, you have to actually get the glitch off. C, he sent out 3 SCVs, so he was only mining from 2 or 3 SCVs this entire time. So it's not gonna be as strong as it could be, but still, like,
you know,
like,
the funny
come on.
thing, the wall isn't gonna necessarily send anything up here, so he could actually just wall off this ramp and then just bunker rush the main mineral line. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to show this. Like, I would say it's a bad idea to send an SCV down here, so he... Oh, wait, DeWalt's going up there.
No! Literal
my
DeWalt.
god.
How does he know? He can't keep getting away with this. Dude,
What a
it's around
scout.
SCV. What a monster. Like a literal god. Now, all you have to do is all in on killing this SCV or the Marine, and I think he's got, 3 probes to just kill everything here, so.
Yeah, I mean, we were going for an alien quote the other day of it's game over, man, game over.
Yeah.
I think it's actually game over here because Gyro's not going to have a bunker.
Dude,
he's not going to have any more units, and as the second
drop
Azella
those
comes
Arto
out,
Nagas in chat, man. It is time to get out of this game.
yeah, this is
You dirty Terran scum.
like, what's he gonna do? He's got a Marine that's gonna die to probes. Even if he lifts the barracks, he's not gonna have any units back at home. And he's only actually got 3 SCVs mining in his main. He basically bet everything.
That's right. This is one of those, you ever seen that meme? It's, I said it was GG, but it was BG kind of memes. Justice is served, Kicks, and the dish best served cold, as they say.
The crazy thing is if you think about how that plays out, if DeWalt doesn't send that probe to randomly build his... Well, it's not random, I guess he's preparing for later game. Like, if you don't send that probe up there, you die. Like, that's it. You can't recover from having, like, a bunker behind your mineral line. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna not mine forever and then, like, pray for a Dragoon or something? Like, you can't really do anything about that. And just, he did it perfectly. Like, that's exactly what he needed to do, and it
How
worked.
does he know? That's my thing, is like, get that Star Sense out of here. There's no place for, like you have to get a Templar Archives until you have units that are psychic Kicks. But DeWalt, maybe he's just a high Templar IRL. I don't know. But what a literal god. Kicks, this is too good. And this gives iRk a 3-1 victory in somewhat dominant fashion over White Clan.
You know, the kind of funny thing is that just happened so quickly that I just completely forgot what I had to normally do. Like, I forgot the series was over. I was just saying, like, yeah, the game's gonna start soon. I'm like, wait, the game's over already. Like, huh? But yeah, that's a win for iRk. It's a win for iRk over White Clan again. And much like in round 3, White Clan are proving that they're not unbeatable. I mean, obviously, this was iRk's relatively best lineup. I'd say Norgrim could probably be replaced by someone else there, and it'd still be a really, really good lineup nonetheless. But it's just insane. Like, to go 3-1 against White Clan, it's not easy. Simbi was a really good Protoss player from what we were seeing. Gogi was a really good Protoss player. First I'd say was definitely the weakest of the players today in terms of this series, but he still put up a good fight. And then Gyro. I mean, Gyro is a really good Terran player, but DeWalt okay, so Gyro just made the ultimate bet, and unfortunately it just didn't pay off.
Yeah. Well, I would also say that, maybe you have these little ticks that you get as you play games where you lose to, like, some, like, in-base racks is, like, one of the worst ones. Or in-base gateway, right, where you don't scout the dark part of your base. And so you get these ticks where you're just like, okay, I'll just always scout there. And 99% of the games, it's totally useless, and you're just like, okay, well, I wasted some mining or scouting time. But that 1%, man, that's how you get them. And Dual got him here. So very solid win there. iRk coming through the 3-1 win over White Clan.
Yeah, so that's going to take us into our second series. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll see you guys when we get back for some more STPL action with Rev versus Sai.